live. It says going live. You're live.
Oh.
Excellent. I think we are now streaming live. Although it says error, I need to change my resolution. I think we're streaming.
Oh, here it comes.
Are we streaming okay with this error? I think we are.
Yeah.
We are?
Yeah, I see us.
Awesome. Greetings from Colorado, Wizard MPK here. How's everyone doing today? Let's go into the chat room and see how everyone is doing today. Guys, let us know how you're doing today.
We're live.
Let's see. How's it growing? That's good.
Yeah.
It's growing beautifully. Do you guys have pretty good audio? I'm watching this on a delay. This is so weird.
I know, it's a little funky.
Like trippy.
Yeah.
You got picture in picture in picture.
It's going to start infinite mirroring.
In picture. Oh my gosh. All right, let me click off of this, guys. I'm going to have faith that we're streaming good.
Yeah.
And let's see, you got the chat under control?
Yeah.
It looks like we're good here. I'm going to pull the email up. We got a lot of emails in here. But yeah, I do want to give preference to the, to the growers that showed up for the live stream as far as answering questions today. And we'll bounce around in the email. And if you've emailed us and you're in the live chat, definitely let us know, because chances are you've probably sent some pictures or additional information we could pull up. But we're going to start in the chat room, and I'm just going to pull up a video so this way we're not kind of bored with what we're looking at. We need to make a collage. We were talking about that. Let's see. I got to go to YouTube. My gosh. Wizard had one too many puffs. Yep, I think so. Do we have any questions coming in the chat? If not, I will pull the emails up.
No, just people calling out from where they're from. Got some Arizona, Massachusetts, Missouri. Lots of people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like taking attendance. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We like that.
Kelly has asked twice to turn the mic up.
Oh, let's see here.
Well, everybody was saying we're good, but she was asking.
Well, let me check the audio controls here. You know what it is? Let's see. Oh, right. I'm clicking the wrong thing. Hopefully that's pretty good. It's possible I was a little farther away from the microphone as well. But if the audio is coming in a little better, definitely let us know. So just a heads up, I'm sure you guys figured it out and caught it in the videos. YouTube gave us a strike, and that's why we're uploading daily videos to the Wizard NPK live channel versus where they normally would go, which is the Wizard NPK channel. We did appeal it, and I do not understand why it's taking YouTube so long to review our appeal, but I imagine they'll figure that out at some point. Until then, we'll just keep uploading here, and it is what it is. The Weed Tube is where we're going to be backing everything up to, and it's a safe place for all our content. If for the day comes when you go to look and you just can't find us, Weed Tube will certainly let you know where we're at. It's an important message to get out. Wow, we got people from all over.
Yeah, we do.
Sound is loud and clear. All right. United Kingdom. I see Israel. Hawaii. Hawaii is very far. I'd love to visit you guys in Hawaii one of these days.
US International. Yeah. Right there. Thanks, Green Reaper.
This is fun.
Got you on YouTube. Nice. Somebody asked, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to start the questions now, guys, and appreciate you asking the questions. We're just scrolling through right now, just grabbing some questions.
Love your channel. Do you guys play music inside of your grow rooms?
Oh, wow, I like that.
Yeah.
Mark asks, that's a really good question. So Mark's asking about music. Do we play music in the grow rooms for the ladies? Not as much as we probably should. Sometimes we have our headphones on and we're working, and they'll hear us singing.
Yeah.
That's kind of the extent of the music they get, and most of them are doing pretty well. So I guess we sing okay.
Yeah. I sing home every day, but that's about it.
But no, we don't actually play music for the ladies. I've read a lot of studies. They go both ways as far as are there benefits or not. It's a really tricky topic, and I don't know if that we'd ever be able to really prove one way or another if there are benefits to that. But music certainly makes for happy people, and happy people take really good care of plants.
Yeah.
I love my music. Let's see.
Stress your roots.
Yeah, okay. Deleted profile. Let's see.
Florida.
All right, yeah, Florida. Cool, cool. Hey, Wizard, how do you guys stress your roots if you do that at all? We don't go out of the way to stress our roots. It just happens a little bit here and there when we stab these stakes through the root zone. That definitely creates a little bit of stress and transplanting. That's pretty much about it. I know a lot of growers towards the end of harvest, and you guys could certainly play around with this when you're flushing. You could use put some ice cubes in with your water, or even dry ice, and just making that root zone incredibly cold will get you some nice colors and some purples. I think that's maybe the stress you're talking about. We just drop our temperatures. That's how we stress our plants towards the end a little bit. Um, if I didn't answer your question, ask it in a different way, and I'll revisit that.
Ooh. Suggestion on organic pesticides for aphid spider mites. I currently use plant therapy and grow outside in Hawaii.
Cool, cool. So, okay, question coming from Hawaii regarding controlling aphids and spider mites, the organic in nature, I should say. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming spider mites and aphids are all kind of the same. What would kill those critters in Colorado, I would assume would be just as effective in Hawaii. Granted, your summers are probably a little bit warmer, your temperatures are probably a little bit warmer, so that potentially could speed up the life cycle of those two pests, which if you're going to if you're going to go after a pest and try to kill them off, you have to understand the life cycle. If the life cycle is every 5 days and your application's once a week, you're never going to get ahead of it. You can't. Uh, but if the life cycle is about every week to a week and a half, being proactive about once a week, you'll probably be able to gain control. And it depends if you're in flower versus veg, your options are pretty differently as far as controlling those bugs. But what I will say, Azamax is really good, and Perithrian is really good. Those are two things that we prefer. They're organic. They're both OMRI listed. Perithrian is derived from chrysanthemum plants, and the Azamax, which is azadactrin, that is just refined neem oil. That's all that is. So, both are considered organic and incredibly effective for both of those pests. We use both of those preventatively about every 7 to 10 days or so in low concentrations, and we have not seen spider mites in years. Aphids, they're a little bit more finicky because they hide in the root zone. Unless you're root drenching every time you fog or spray your plant, you're leaving a good population behind that'll breed again and reproduce. So, wow, sorry, a lot of information there. You might want to watch this and play this back. There are a lot of other organic products, and I'm sure you guys in the chat room are probably talking about some of them. If not, we could certainly. Let's see. I see SNS. Yep, SNS is a pretty good one. That contains a lot of different essential oils, if I recall their label. And essential oils do work. We've been playing with those in the grow rooms. I will tell you. Someone suggested that we try some cinnamon for our aphids, and I like what I'm seeing. 3 mils per gallon of cinnamon oil.
I think this is the second time we've seen
Oh
it.
yeah. Can you slow the drying process in low humidity? Um, that's an awesome question. You're asking good questions here. So about curing and drying, you absolutely can slow the dry process down. I would need to really understand the equipment and how you're drying to begin with. I'm assuming you're probably not drying in a sealed room and the temperatures are just kind of soaring.
This is Green Reaper we're talking about, by the way.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, I'm assuming that's the case. I'm trying to put up another video here for you guys while we're talking. Um, so my advice would honestly be to seal your room and use a dehumidifier. As your plants dry, your humidity will go up, so then it just becomes a function of pulling out what you want. In a sealed room, your dehumidifier won't run a lot, but when it runs, it'll be pretty effective because your plants are letting all that moisture into the air. Let's see. And if you are in a sealed room and it's drying too quick, what works pretty good if you take a bucket with some water in it and just set that in there with a fan nearby it, you'll add humidity to your air. But you want to be really careful because if you're adding humidity too much, you're taking too long, you're going to create all sorts of problems and you'll lose your terpenes. So, um, it's probably temperature. I'm guessing is more of an issue in your particular scenario. That's why they're drying too quick. Perpetual grow. Let's see. You need to dry in the same area. That might be it right there. But I know some growers have little grow tents that they'll use just for drying. Grow tents work really good for drying. Um, if you have the ability to set one of those up, you'd be able to control your drying environment a lot better that way. You could use a little portable AC with a little grow tent. What about chopping? You're getting all of our attention today, buddy. I don't mind. What about chopping the whole plant? Yeah, absolutely. That's how we do them here. If there's ever an issue where we need to prove plant counts or anything, having the plant in its entirety is a beautiful thing. No one could, accuse you of growing an unknown number of plants at that point if it's all intact. And yes, it definitely will dry a little slower that way. Absolutely. So yeah, you might want to give that a shot. Let's see. Oh, we're talking about microbes. I like microbes. I'm gonna answer that. Was that for me?
Oh,
Right here, we're talking about
there it
microbes.
is.
We've played with several different microbes. The great white seems to be one of the ones that I prefer. It has the most fungus and bacteria from what I've been able to determine by reading a lot of different labels. I know it's not I know it's not very it's pretty expensive, I should say. It's a better way of saying it. Um, but that product works pretty good, really does. I think most of the beneficial bacteria products work really good if you have the right environment in your root zone. Um, and that's feeding that bacteria as well. A lot of you guys don't want to use molasses in veg. If you're using microbes, you got to feed them some sort of carbohydrates or something. So that's huge. Share that tip while we're talking about microbes. Let's see here. I'm going to jump to some emails here real quick. Hey, shout out if you've emailed me and you're in this chat and we haven't got to your email. That's the emails I'm going to focus on. Let's see. What lights do you run in veg? I'm going to answer that question while I wait to see if anyone present has sent us an email we have not addressed. So in our veg, we run the ceramic metal halide. They're the Philips bulbs. And it's just 315 watts is running. They're 1 out of 2 bulbs is turned on, and we have them on light rails. So that makes it more efficient.
Mr. Rice.
And gives you more even growth by using the light rails. Cool. Okay. Let's see. I emailed at Mr. Rice. Let's see. That looks like an Instagram handle.
302.
Let's see. I'm gonna search Mr. Rice here. That looks like you right there. Let's see. Looks like we've corresponded before, my friend. Okay.
Yeah, I recognize him.
Oh, let's see. What do we got going on here? Oh, that's right. Okay, so you were pollinating your plants. Cool. Making some seeds. All right.
Green Reaper's surprised that we have ceramic metal highlights in veg.
They work amazing. They really do. Let's see if we can see what's going on here. It's a little blurry. I'm going to, oh, I think this one's a lot more clear.
Infinite Me, Dopey, and everybody's back. What's up, everybody?
Let's see.
We got Kelly Hill emailed us as well. I'll
All
write
right,
that down.
let me process his email. Okay, so the plant you pollinated with San Fernando Valley OG Kush is a female. Okay, so is a feminized Alan Jack that pollinated the SVFOG. Okay, you're in week 4. That's good, pretty good timing. I think that's going to work really good for you. You will get seeds. And don't be scared to let your plant go a little bit longer than you normally would too, until you kind of see the seeds almost popping out. You know, if you need to almost rip a bud apart a little bit just to see, you know, if there's seeds, you know, how the seeds look. Because you want to make sure they're mature seeds, not still white or gray. But I think you're good. I don't know if they're going to be feminized or not. That's a really interesting question. Because if you start off with one of the parents as a feminized seed and the other as a regular seed, but they're both females, yeah, I don't know. That may work. You may end up with feminized seeds. I'm doubtful, but yeah, wow. You got to follow up with me. I need to know. I need to know your results. You got me. That's good. Does anyone in the chat room, has anyone done that before? Take a feminized plant and crossed it with a non-feminized female? You know, as far as the genetic traits of those seeds, are they all feminized? Like, I don't think you're going to end up with any hermaphrodite seeds. So grab our notes from last time. Bear with me, guys, just for a moment here.
Yep, 1 second.
Those are the notes from
Nice,
the last live stream because we were going to get.
Yes.
So I think we just got to his email.
We did.
Yeah, so I think we got that covered, right? These pictures look pretty cool.
Email. Sorry, I'm late.
Yeah. Let's see. Who's next?
So we've got a few. So Lone Wolf emailed us.
All right, let's see.
He was the next one I saw. Also Dopey. I don't remember if we answered his last time or not.
I'm not seeing what's Lone Wolf's email address or name. Let me see.
Lone Wolf. What is your email handle?
Oops, that's not helping. There we go.
Got it?
No. But let's another one.
Yeah. Kelly Hill. Remember her? She had the bug problem last week. Oh, I got it. Lone Wolves is right here.
Okay, I just got Kelly Hill pulled up, so we'll do that. Then we'll bounce back to Lone Wolf.
I'm gonna write yours down, Lone Wolf, so we don't lose you.
Let's see here. Oh my gosh, it's 4:20. Should we hit pause and step outside for a moment? No. Okay, we'll be all right. All right, but if you guys need to, we'll wait a second here. No. Okay. Question number 1: could you explain the difference between hemp and cannabis? Same thing. I'm pretty certain it's just coming down to the state or federal definition, depending on whose definition you want to look at as far as what hemp is. My understanding is they're all cannabis sativa. It just has to do with the THC concentrations. Generally speaking, a lot of the commercial hemp products, the hemp crops that are grown, the leaves look just like marijuana leaves. It's just the way the buds and everything on them, they just look incredibly different. They're either being grown for fibers or stalks, or, as a lot of us in Colorado are getting very familiar, they're growing for CBD buds, which that's kind of where they took a lot of the traits in some of the marijuana strains, like the terpenes that people are after, and are basically crossing those with hemp strains, or just, I should say, known industrial hemp. And then they're growing those seeds out and just looking for phenotypes that are really high CBD, that smell amazing. then that's where these hemp strains like cherry wine are coming from, or cookies CBD. There's so many of them, but yeah, it pretty much just comes down to the THC concentration. Now, difference between indica sativa and ruderalis. Okay, ruderalis is that's an autoflower trait. They typically have CBD in them, but autoflower is where ruderalis, the connection. So any autoflower you grow has ruderalis DNA in it. That's a plant that the photoperiod is not relevant to what triggers flowering. When you start that seed, the game's already begun. It'll flower when it wants to, and you can't clone it. It is what it is. And then let's see, you understand the difference. Okay. I read your question backwards. It said you understand the difference, so I'm telling you what you already know. All right, fair enough. Okay. Is hemp related to a sativa? Yep, cannabis sativa. Technically, indica is related to a sativa too, but that's really weird because it's still cannabis sativa. It's just indica. Okay, ditchweed, hemp. Let's see. Well, so ditchweed is a really subjective term. That's just kind of anything growing wild. That's usually not that potent, but could be anything. So it's hard to talk a lot about ditchweed. But you're probably not going to have crazy high THC on it. So I got to skip question number 3. And number 4, from like ditchweed, like you're gonna find. I should say, where are you finding the ditchweed? Because those seeds are all going to be offspring. If it's somewhere where there's a lot of autoflowers and ruderalis that are just kind of growing wild, you're probably going to find a bunch of CBD. But let's say you're in Afghanistan and you're seeing ditchweed. That's a lot of kush they got going in Afghanistan. So probably not so much CBD. So geographical location, my friend. But those are good questions. I like them. And yeah, I'm just not an expert on ditchweed. So, but from what I know. Okay, the other one we were pulling up
All right,
was
so Lone Wolf is actually Jay Newman with a G.
You know what? We have it right in here. Uh-oh. We're not finding you in here? Do you see that email address? We're trying to find Jay. I'm not seeing it. Am I blind? I might be. Let's see. Lone Wolf, make sure you emailed wizardnpklive@gmail.com. It might have went to wizardnpk. That might be why we're not seeing your email. We still want to take care of you, Lone Wolf, but we're going to come back to you once we know who to pull up.
This guy.
Let's see. Do you see that here?
LS Elite 4. No, I didn't look.
Up, right up here.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah.
Bam,
yeah.
right on top. Nice.
Oh, no big deal, guys.
First time growing Massachusetts. Nice. Let's see.
Yeah, Lone Wolf, if you want to shoot that email to Wizard MPK Live right now, we'll hit you up right after these guys.
Okay, so let's see what we're looking at.
So that's what he did.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I wish I was closer to you. I'd be asking you for a cutting of this beautiful lady right here. My gosh. That is some bud porn right there. Wow.
That's a pretty one.
Let's all comment on this picture.
Gorgeous.
I am blown away. I am blown away. You have me incredibly impressed with what I'm looking at. Your leaves are all kind of going up. Your plant's praying. Your buds are swelling. Just based on the color of the hairs, they're all white. I would say you're not overfeeding. You're not underfeeding. You've unlocked this plant. It's yours. You own this. My advice is keep up the good work and don't harvest early because this plant could go several more weeks easily. And your hard work will pay off if you're patient because that is incredible right there. That's a perfect picture. I love it.
That person's from the UK. I know because they spelled color wrong.
They say we spell it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I love the English language. Well, I don't. It's incredibly confusing.
It is.
Like I speak it and I get confused by it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got some good trichomes going on. So I don't know how big your plants are. Let's see. It's kind of hard to say how far in flower you are. I mean, you got a ways to go, but if any of your really large sunleafs are blocking, like this one that I'm circling right here is a good candidate. If that was blocking a lot of bottom growth, then my advice would be to remove it. Um, just to let more light penetrate through to make sure your bottom growth, does as amazing. There we go, as your top growth.
Yes.
I'm happy. I love this. I love seeing success.
Yeah, good job, man.
So first time grower, you're doing really good. I don't think it's beginner's luck. I think you've studied this topic, or you're either that or you're not overthinking it, and you're just you're doing really good. Keep good notes so next year you could repeat your success. Yeah. Lone Wolf. Bam, there we go.
There he is. All right.
All right, Lone Wolf. Let's see what we got going on here. Root zone. Okay. The root zone, what it does. Okay. After, let's see, stretching the roots. Okay, so my understanding is roots on a plant don't really stop growing. The plant makes new roots and some of the old roots just kind of die off, sort of cycles through them. Some roots get promoted and just become, bigger roots in the whole network under the plant. But, as far as roots stop growing, not so much unless you're ridiculously root bound. But, at that point, you can't see anything except for just roots everywhere, and they're still growing to that point. When it's just nothing but roots, and your mass is almost too big to even break up at that point. So I got to research what you're talking about by stretching the roots, if that's an actual grow technique that I'm not familiar with. But when we step our plants up, we'll water them, not every single day, kind of letting them dry out a little bit to get the roots to stretch, seeking out nitrogen, all that good stuff. Maybe that's what you're referring to. But I don't think roots really ever stop growing. It's kind of like human skin, you know what I mean? Like it keeps cycling through. We keep growing new layers, and I'm not saying roots grow new layers, but they just kind of keep growing new roots, and some of the older ones will break down and decay.
Here's a good question. I've also been curious about this one too.
But we need to do more on roots, because roots are where it's all at, right? Bigger the roots, bigger the fruits.
Yeah.
All your roots you don't see until you harvest, and roots are super important. Like that's what makes everything work. It's a network for nutrient uptake. So yeah, we need to do more videos on roots and share more knowledge on the topic in general. So yeah, we're gonna go to the live chat, and let's see. Jeez, I don't know whose video this is.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? Let's see. I don't know if we're supposed to have other people's videos up.
I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, let's not do that.
I just don't know. So we'll just.
I'm not sure either. So shout out to him, but we're moving on.
Absolutely. You guys want to subscribe to him and tell him Wizard sent you? That's all good.
Yeah.
All right.
So this one.
The Green Reaper?
Yeah, him again.
All right. What happens if you let a plant bud too long? Huh. We've never just let a plant go like almost indefinitely, but the quality, like I've let plants go too long, but not like. All right, let's define your question and actually we'll quantify this in terms of weeks. So let's say the breeder says the plant's good for 7 or 8 weeks. We might grow it out for 9 or 10 because usually it's a week or two longer than what the breeders say. Realistically, is what you want to accomplish. But let's say we take that and we grow it for 12 weeks, 13 weeks. I've done that before. Your buds get a lot bigger. If indicas and sativas, they kind of ripen differently. Indicas just kind of almost become, I want to say, more sedative like. Some of that THC really starts to degrade to CBN. So, if you're after something that's going to help put you to sleep, letting your buds go way too long may actually help you out. But if you're wanting something that's enjoyable, not advised. But let's say you let that go 20 weeks instead of 10 weeks. Chances are it'll probably start popping out male flowers at some point. It'll hermaphrodite on you. Just out of stress because it's so not natural for it to flower that long. Revegging the plant then flowering it again would be a totally different scenario. But I imagine you would see male flowers if you went way too long, and a lot of your terpenes are going to start to degrade, and your buds are just going to get brown and nasty eventually.
No, apparently that's what he's looking for. Good.
So
we did get permission to use soil life videos as well. I'm looking them up right now. So just a thought.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, and Dopey, D0PEY. That's his email, MJ, right there.
Oh,
he is ready.
Let me go here.
He or she, not sure who, but
let's see.
MJ. That one.
Oh, perfect. All right. Oh, cool. Looks like you sent us a link here.
What was the Joshua do genetics degree?
I wanted to show you a night video of my plant outdoors. It's on YouTube. I learned a lot. Cool. All right, we're loading your video. Let's check it out. Oh, sorry guys, we got ads here.
Welcome to WeedTube.
But yeah, I mean WeedTube. The nice thing about the ads on WeedTube, a portion of the revenue from the ads actually goes to content creators.
You can skip it
now. Yeah, we can skip. With YouTube, all that money just goes to Google. They say we're not advertiser friendly, and they take more money. All right. Yeah, I love nighttime videos because you could actually see contrast pretty good. See, I'm going to pause this real quick and see if we can bump the quality up.
It's on audio.
Yeah, so I think it's rendering it. Yeah, there we go.
That's better.
I'm trying to pause this where it's not going to be so blurry. Okay, so we're seeing some yellow leaves towards the bottom, which means you're not getting enough light down there, from what I could see. See, I think we just got some smoke there. Nice. I see the haze. I think that's what we're seeing.
Yep.
But your plants look really healthy. Let's see here.
I'll bet he's talking, but we don't have headphones right now.
Yeah, how do we... Let me see if I could get this audio to... Well,
it's on there. It's on your computer that you need to hear. See it down on the right.
See, I got desktop audio down.
So that should make everybody else
for the strike. We're going to keep appealing it with them, even if we don't get the audio down.
Yeah. So that should make everybody else
for the strike. We're going to keep
might have a crazy echo.
Even if we don't get the
might have a crazy echo.
Yeah. Am I still broadcasting my audio? I could hear his audio.
Yeah, you're still broadcasting yours.
But is his audio going through?
I don't know. Let me look.
Am I still broadcasting my audio? Oh no, I'm looping.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
All right, sorry guys. Here comes the loop. All right. We're trying to figure this out. Eventually, we'll maybe set up some sort of production room so we can really do a lot better video content for you guys. But what I'm seeing from your pictures, the yellow going on, that's just your plant most likely sucking nitrogen out of those leaves. It's probably not getting enough nitrogen, but at the same time, if we look at the leaves that are connected to the buds, they're still green. So I'd argue it's just moving nitrogen from the big leaves to the ones that are actually supporting your buds, which is fine. So don't bump your nitrogen up. Roll with it. I think you're doing good. Um, keep feeding your plant and keep going. You have more time left on your plant. I'm guessing you probably got at least 3-4 weeks left on this at least. Did he say how far into flower we are?
I don't know.
I'm guessing you're about 4 or 5 weeks into flower. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think we're, well, this one looks a little farther along. That one's probably about 6 weeks into flower. We're taking a guess here. You guys are trying to stump me with how old's my plant? But I mean, they're looking pretty good. When you see a lot of your leaves starting to yellow a little bit, when your buds are, farther down the line, farther down the progression through their life cycle, it's kind of a good sign. It tells you everything's going well. Like, the bloom food you're using should be pretty low in nitrogen. If you're doing it right, you're giving it just what it needs. Maybe you're falling ever so slightly short. So it'll just take what it needs from some of the older growth that's truly not needed to grow those big buds that you're after. I like your plants, man. They're looking pretty good. Was there a problem we were trying to identify, or we're just trying to comment and figure out what's up?
All right.
Hit me up in the chat if there's some specific feedback you're after. But this is cool. See, you got 3 subscribers, buddy. How do I do this? I'm going to subscribe to you right now. I think that's me. See, what's my password? Oh my gosh. I can't remember. I got to subscribe to you. You need your 4th subscriber.
Yeah, man.
Let's make this happen for you. Bam! All right. I only think I have a few subscriptions, so I think that's an honor. But keep making content. I'm going to check in on you. All right, who's next?
All right, there was one forever ago I wanted to address.
Hey, how's this work? If I play one of our videos, and it shows one ad, and there's 50 people in the chat watching it, is that 50 views, or is that
views?
1 view?
It's none. We're not friendly. Remember?
That's right.
So that one from Joshua S. That was forever ago.
Oh wow, yeah.
A lot of people are asking.
No, that's a good one about genetics degradation of genetics. Let's see. You're about to harvest some 20-year-old skunk bags. Oh, neat. Okay. I don't know if genetics degrade. I know if you have a mother plant, and you take a cutting and you flower your mother plant out, and then that cutting you grow into a new mother plant, and you just keep repeating that cycle, let's say 100 times over. So after the 100th time, it's like what you have is a photocopy that's been made 100 times. The question is, do the genetics degrade at all at that point? A lot of growers are going to argue absolutely. I've never copied anything enough times personally to experience it. I've killed off genetics before that I really like, that are important and special to us. When I felt like maybe the genetics shifted or something, as weird as that sounds, I think we have had genetics shift and mutate on us before. I think in the process of taking a cutting, there's a small chance something could go wrong. Maybe bacteria or some sort of fungus, or just something that does something that affects the DNA of the plant. And, from that point forward, you've lost your genetic. I personally feel that I've experienced it, but scientifically I can't prove it. So
From Ryan Oaks.
Can I tweak genetics as far as density, height, and color? All right, Ryan, good question. Yes, let's go backwards in your question. So as far as color goes, you can manipulate color by manipulating your temperature. Colder temperatures will bring out purples. A lot of the green flowers will actually become purple flowers. as far as height goes and density, let's answer density first. So densities, I could contribute density of buds to two different things: temperature and your ratio of phosphorus and potassium. Notice how I'm not saying nitrogen. In flower, nitrogen is important, but it's phosphorus and potassium. Um, I find that potassium makes buds bigger and phosphorus gives you the density. Okay, I don't know if a botanist is gonna flat out agree with that statement I just made. This again is my own personal experience and my personal findings. So by tweaking the different ratios, we're actually able to control the size and density of the buds. We could have our buds really small, rock hard. We could have them pretty big and fluffy. I'd rather have them somewhere in the middle where they're respectably dense, but not fluffy, not too small, but not enormous where we're going to potentially experience bud rot or any of the issues you get with really big buds. Um, so okay, and then what was the other thing you asked? I think height was the last one. Um, we're going to do some cool experiments on the Botany Research Channel, but using plant growth regulators, you can control the height. We do not use plant growth regulators that control the height of the plants. Um, there's probably about 5 or 6 that I've been reading up on, and a couple of them are actually very bad for human consumption. And back about 10 years ago or so, a bunch of products, 5 or 10 years ago, a bunch of the products in the hydroponic industry contained this specific growth regulator that we're going to identify and tell you guys why you want to avoid it. And, when we start doing that other channel, but uh, there are some that are pretty natural and already are occurring in the plants as far as completely naturally occurring that control the height of them. Um, so there's some that will control the height by keeping it short, and then there's other things in the plants that actually just you know make that aggressive growth where it doesn't really understand that there are limits to vertical height. Um, so plant growth regulators are going to tinker with all sorts of those things and give you full control. But if we want to stick to totally natural and not go down that road, which sure, absolutely, let's have that conversation. You could use a product like kelp. Kelp contains natural growth plant regulators. That's right, completely natural, along with all sorts of other really cool trace minerals and things the plants always seem to come up short on. So kelp will actually help control your height. Every genetic's going to respond differently, and it's possible you could give your plant too much potassium in the process and create some problems with kelp if you overdo it pretty easily. Um, so that's something you really got to tinker with. But you can control your height with kelp. But our favorite technique is our hands. That's right. We pull the branches down. We use stakes. We control the height of the plants. If they're too big, we'll just cut the branch. It is what it is. They need to fit a specific space and be a specific size. So that's why I just kind of wanted to approach that question from a lot of different angles. So there's products out there at the hydro store that they'll sell you that'll control the height of your plant. Some are good, some are bad. You could get kelp, or you could buy a bunch of stakes and do what we do and just pull your branches down. Absolutely. We got about 15 minutes left. Let's see here. God, I love just going off on these tangents here with you guys. Um, let's see. What video are we going to do next? Ah, cool. Sorry, guys, more commercials. But there are sponsors, I guess. So, cool. Let's get back to the questions in the chat. And then if you've emailed us and we haven't pulled your email up, maybe you've tuned in since we had that discussion. Let us know in the comments in the chat room right now so we could pull your email up and make sure we address it. We're just scrolling through right now trying to find some questions to answer that slipped through the cracks. But But go ahead and ask your questions in capital letters if we missed it. That way we don't the second time. All right.
Drill a hole through the base of your plant
Wow.
before you harvest.
Okay, so Danny Snyder is asking about drilling a hole through the base of your plant a week before harvest. I've never heard of that before. I'm guessing you're trying to do something like pull some sap out of the plant or create some sort of stress. Um, is Papa Grande in the chat room right now?
I haven't seen him, but I haven't.
Hey, Papa Grande, if you're in there, fire at us because I'm going to involve you in this chat. He had shared with me a while back playing around with a rusty steel nail putting into the base of the plant for trying to get, I think it was iron oxide, which I think he was explaining. Yeah, hey, Papa Grande, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to explain this the way I remember you explaining this to me. Um, so a rusty nail in the bottom of the plant is going to create some pretty crazy stress on that plant from the iron oxide. And I believe you explained it as the plant's response is just to crank out a lot of resin. So that might be kind of along the lines of what you're talking about, tapping a hole in the base of it, maybe just to create a stress response. And I'm pretty sure that would stress your plant out big time. I don't know if it's going to be a good response. I don't think you're going to risk draining your trichomes or having the potency slip out of your plant. That's locked up in your buds. You're safe. I don't know if it'll affect your potency or anything like that. So yeah, Papa Grande is sharing some information here. So if you guys want to know more about that, that's a topic he's more knowledgeable about. I thought he might have been in there. I didn't see a type.
Jason Real.
There's so many familiar names in here. I love it. You guys are really following us, and that's so cool.
This one's not a question, but it makes me happy.
I'm gonna let you read it.
Sure. I followed your advice, NPK, opening up your plants and it's amazing what it does. I have a pretty good sized tent with one plant, and she pretty much takes up 3/4 of it by opening her up. So yes, opening your plants is huge. It makes them grow so much when you're in flower.
Absolutely.
That's my job.
It's the great equalizer. You could take a crappy yielding genetic, and if you're patient with your veg time and you train it right, you could train one of the worst yielding plants into something that's actually respectable. And opening it up is part of that process of vegging and flowering. I'm so glad to hear it's working for you. I'm hoping your medicine quality goes up as well. All your buds quality should go up. Cool. Yeah, we like the success stories.
Yeah. Oh, here's one that just popped up. Peter Pan.
Do you reuse your cocoa? I wish we did reuse our cocoa, but I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons why we don't. There's not a lot of reasons to reuse your cocoa in an indoor grow. Reusing it outdoors for landscaping or garden purposes would be awesome. But we're talking reusing, for growing more medical marijuana plants. Our concern is disease control and bug control. And I have absolutely no way to, and I don't even know if we need to sterilize the cocoa, but I mean, that'd be a way to make sure there's no pathogens or, I'd hope that would make sure there's no bugs either. No diseases, no nothing. And it's a gamble. I don't know that we really have any way to fully get to that point. But, if we were to compost it with the root mass and let it get up to, some crazy high temperatures in the process of composting, it would probably make some of the best, like raised garden beds, and we should probably do that because that'd be a lot of fun. I'd grow some pretty cool potatoes and tomatoes. And, yeah,
Some crazy stuff.
Yeah, but that'd be what to do with the cocoa. Unless you want to gamble, and if that's the case, you need to clean all the roots out. You need to break the root mass down. My recommendation is going to be to use some pretty heavy enzymes to basically break all that crap down and flush it out pretty good, and then replant. And assuming you don't have any diseases or bugs, you should be okay. A lot of growers reuse their dirt and cocoa, and if it works for you, that's awesome. I wish that would work for us. Clones. What about cloning? Ryan, what about cloning? I got a few videos up, but we don't have a lot of videos. We need to do some more cloning videos. Yes, ceramic metal halide is also known as light emitting ceramic, or LEC, yeah, light emitting ceramic. But yes, CMH or LEC, same thing. Just kind of weird. What? Let's see, someone's.
No.
All right, I'm pretty sure that question is coming from Hawaii.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's from Hawaii. I know that
What?
guy.
Let's see. Question Wizard, what strain did you get the highest THC and CBD? Okay, so, oh, I really like this question. Now, this is a strain that I'm not growing right now, but this is from back a while ago. It was CBD Critical Cure from Barney's Seed Company was the breeder. We grew out a bunch of those and we tested them all. I had one that was over 15% CBD and over 15% THC. So it was over 30% with those two compounds in the one bud. And the buds were really big. They were really sticky. That comes to mind. And then the only other one, and I should try to get my hands on more of these seeds. It was from Sin City Seeds. I think they're a Las Vegas company. And it was their strain called Thunderstruck. That one had it was over 15% of both of those as well, and we made rosin out of her back in the day. I lost that plant a while ago. I think it was bugs that got it, and we killed it off. It wasn't worth the battle, but we made rosin out of her, and she yielded like no other strain. We would press an ounce at a time, and we would get back 6, 7, 8 grams of rosin, like unheard of. Like
That's insane.
yeah, so those two strains right there, personal experience, incredibly happy with them. But, seeds are a funny thing. You could grow 100 of them and no two are the same. So, may have been our luck. I don't know. But that's a good question. Yeah. In highest THC strain, I'll share that. The highest one that we've ever grown. And every time I talk about it, I always get some hate because 35% is a high number. And I agree. And that is Fifth Element by Elemental Seeds. We got amazingly lucky with that phenotype. I grew one feminized seed, and it delivered the stickiest, most resinous buds we have. You handle a few buds, and your gloves are just so gunked up and so caked up. You roll your fingers for a second, and you have a couple grams of scissor hash just off the tips of the gloves from working with it just for a few minutes.
Right.
So I want to share that because, that company is just freaking awesome.
So going back to Ryan's cloning a clone thing, he's wondering if it's good, bad, or pointless, or he's just wondering about it.
Yeah, if you have a genetic, you need to back up. There's nothing wrong with cloning a plant before you flip it. It's if there is something to losing a genetic from too many generations, you may experience that. And if you do, please get a hold of me. Like revisit this conversation because a lot of people say it happens, but I don't know. But I'm trying to think. I've cloned things probably 15, 20 generations deep on some genetics and never any problems. Let's see. Hello, Wizard and Green King. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. What would you both consider to be the best, your favorite sativa? Ooh, sativa.
For a newbie. Growing for a newbie.
Wow. So that's a good one. My personal preference is indicas. I'll be honest, but there are some sativas that I really do enjoy.
He's asking about growing which sativa strain for a new person.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think about ones that grow out easily that are also pretty enjoyable. Girl Scout cookies, I've grown that one a few times. She was forgiving one time and then the most finicky strain the second time. I want to say AK-47 would be a pretty good sativa strain to start on. Yeah, AK-47 would be my recommendation. It's a very heavy yield. It's a high yielding strain usually, and it's a heavy eating strain. So it's a little harder to overfeed that strain. That's a common mistake a lot of new growers make is overfeeding. It happens. You feel you want to take good care of your plant, and you're like, I want to feed her. I want to take so good care of her. Like she needs my love, but less is more. So uh, I'd say look at like AK-47 or Blue Dream. Those two, yeah, Blue Dream or AK-47. Those are my recommendations. And Green King's not here at the moment. I believe he's with his family.
Yep.
But I bet you he'd be nodding his head right now. Blue Dream and AK-47.
Yep.
So that's going to be our recommendations. Absolutely. But let me give you a pointer, okay? One thing you need to remember as a new grower. Less is more. That's it. If you remember that one thing, you just stepped your game up. Less is more. It's easy to give your plant more food.
Someone recommended Durban poison too.
Yeah, Durban is
good.
Durban's another really good one. But that is 100% pure sativa. Yeah, Durban's fire. Let's see, we only got a few more minutes left.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Ryan did have a follow-up question on the cloning clones.
Let's see, cloning clones. Yeah, go for it.
So, is it okay to clone a clone? Downsides or any deformities? Upside? It's like maybe he sent that after you answered it.
So I think we kind of
Hard to tell.
answered that,
Yeah, I
right?
think we did.
This is what nice roots look like, guys. I put this video up the other day because we have not been talking much about roots. And, a lot of people put videos out and show pictures, they call it root porn when you see nothing but roots and they're incredibly beautiful. But the reality is what you're seeing right here, this is about where you want to be when you're transplanting. If you got a lot more roots than what you're seeing here, you're starting to get root bound. And that's when the roots start circling around the plant. Your plant's still going to grow upwards. It's still going to get bigger. It's still going to bulk up, but your plant's starting to get stressed out. And when the roots start getting stressed out, imagine what happens to the top of the plant. Just because it's green, it's not. You're missing your potential.
You got to be careful with your foundation.
I really like making that video, but we're going to do more videos on roots because that's such an important topic. Less is more indeed. I love it.
Yeah.
Should we do some quick little shout outs or something? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's the same people as before, really.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
We love you guys, yeah.
Here's a good one. Filters to get rid of smells.
Oh, yeah, nice. Filters to get rid of smell. That's a good one. So.
Skunk in my driveway, no bueno.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Goodness gracious. So carbon filters work pretty good on getting rid of smell, but here's why they suck, okay? Over time, carbon filters lose efficiency and effectiveness. And as the grower, you don't realize it because we're around our pot a lot, okay? So our noses are kind of on a different plane, so to say. Your neighbor is going to notice the smell of your pot you're growing before you probably notice it. If you're going by your nose. And when they tell you the carbon filter is good for like 3 to 5 years, they're not. After about 4 to 6 months, you may actually start noticing they're not working as well. So you really, really got to be careful with carbon filters. They're generally, they work really good in the beginning, then they don't work as well. Masking odor usually is not the best option because smells are unique to everybody on this planet, and everyone smells things differently. Some people actually, yeah, and it's like some people smell layers, as weird as that sounds. Like where they, you might be making a salad and you just chopped up walnuts, you chopped up tomatoes, you chopped up onions, and you chopped up something else. One person smelling walnuts, the other person smells onions. It's kind of like the same thing. So masking, you'll fool yourself, but you're probably still not going to fool your neighbor. What we like to use here is ozone. Who are we looking at here?
I don't know. Advanced nutrients.
Ah, look at that.
What's up, guys?
Advanced nutrients. Their products work. They're just incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
But we were just off topic here. um, where was I going with that? Because I'm realizing we're out of time, and I'm just kind of babbling on here.
I think you covered it. You're asking about what filters we use.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, real quick, we use ozone generation, and I could do a video in depth on that topic if that's something you guys want to see more about. But ozone's pretty cool. It's corrosive oxygen, and it literally destroys the molecules that are associated with smell, like the actual like oil scent molecule. It gets destroyed, and from what I understand, it turns to dust and pretty much falls to the ground. That's what ozone does, and we neutralize all the air that we're ever venting out with ozone, just to make sure that we're not disturbing the peace. Because no one really wants to. Well, maybe us growers do, but neighbors don't want to smell skunk. Whether it's you're in a business commercial park, you got to control your odor just like you do if you're in an apartment building or in the suburban. So good stuff, guys. I'm going to sign out. I know we got a few more questions that just came in. My apologies. But we are going to join you guys hopefully next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Same time, same place. If anything comes up, I'll let you guys know before then. And I think within a few days, if YouTube doesn't remove that strike, we should just be good to go to start uploading on the Wizard NPK channel. So good stuff. This was a lot of fun. And apologies again for not getting to all the emails. All right. Yeah. You guys were really good as always. We had a lot of fun. I'm going to close out. This is Wizard NPK, over and out from Colorado.